Hello, it's been a while, hope you're having a perfectly balanced day. I'm back, and I'm back to tell you that everyone is sleeping on the new Utopia skill. In just a moment, I will explain what makes this skill so good, but to briefly summarize it, you can turn any two level 4 monsters into a untargetable Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. That is an effect negation and the ability to halve the attack points of any monster on your opponent's field. You can also turn two level 4s into the new Utopia Ray V, which is very similar to Volcasaurus. So, with no further ado, enjoy! So I'm playing 30 cards in this deck because there's 3 cards that we do not really want to draw too much. They are not bricks per se, however they are not cards that we want to draw in our hand going second, because into most forms of interruption they aren't going to help you, and that is the spell and then the 2 Zexal weapons. I'm only playing the best Zexal weapons, not the kind of useful ones, because again they aren't that great to draw a lot of the time, and you pull them from the deck anyway simply by making Utopia. And we play the one that prevents targeting and the one that prevents destruction. You also make Utopia Leo become 5,000 attack points too, which is pretty good. It's the reason why this deck has such a strong turn 1 play. But before we get any further, let's explain the skill real quick. So the skill Order of Chaos is a new skill, and the first 2 parts of the skill are strictly related to one of the new cards from the box, which is the Salamander. And also, by using this skill, we can only summon Utopia monsters and monsters with level or rank 4. The first part of the skill is we can reveal the Salamander in our hand to add Utopia from outside of our deck to the graveyard. And the reason for this is because it lets us then just normal summon the Salamander, bring back Utopia, and then that will make the third part of the skill live. We can also return up to 2 cards to the deck from our hand or monster zone, and then in doing so, if there are no monsters on the field, you can normal summon one the Salamander in addition to your normal summon or set during this turn. The point in this skill is that you can use this to normal summon a second time to play through Interruption. That will let you normal summon the Salamander to bring back Utopia from grave to get into the Chaos number 39 Utopia Ray V. So you can play the deck a bit more around Salamander by playing 20 cards. The third part of the skill is actually the best part, and that's because if we control number 39 Utopia, we can set Rank-Up Magic Limited Variance Force from our deck or graveyard to the field. Now each of these effects are not once per duel, they are all once per turn, meaning that we can use the skill of the first time to set this from deck, and then later in the game we can summon a second Utopia and then set the Rank-Up Magic from the grave back to the field to use it again. What makes this so good is it means that we only have to play 1 copy of this card in our deck, which is very, very nice, because we just pull it from the skill. And even if we open it in our hand, we can use it from our hand, which isn't ideal, but then later in the game we can use the skill to set it back from the grave to the field. And what this Rank-Up Magic card does is we target a rank 4 Xyz and summon a number C monster, a Chaos number monster that is 1 rank higher. So what you do is you go summon Utopia, make Utopia Ray V, or you summon Utopia and you make Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. This is your turn 1 play, and it's why I think this deck is actually pretty good. You can see in the name that there is not a Chaos number in Leo's name, but that's because from its first line of text, this card is always treated as Utopia Ray, as in the Chaos number 39, Utopia Ray, which is why you're able to use this Rank-Up Magic card to turn Utopia into Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. So the point of this deck is we're playing a bunch of level 4s and level 4 extenders. We're playing the best rank 4 engine in the game, which is Buzzsaw Shark, because it is a 1 card rank 4 by itself, which makes Utopia. If you have no other cards in your hand and you have a Buzzsaw Shark, this will at least get you to the Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray equipped with either a Tornado to make it untargetable, or a Lightning Blade to make it indestructible. We play the Armed Sage from the structure deck because the point of this is that it's a level 4 extender, but not only that, because if we use it to Xyz summon Utopia, we can use the effect to add any Zexal weapon from our deck to our hand. We're only playing 2 of the Zexal weapons because I don't think they're that good to draw, And yes, we are playing 30 cards, so we are drawing them less, but an important thing to know in deck building is that playing a larger deck count will decrease your odds of drawing bad cards, but it will not completely remove the odds of drawing bad cards. So we are able to play more bad cards in our deck by playing 30 cards, but we don't want to play too many of them still. But yeah, that's the point of this card. It's a level 4 extender that then lets us search for one of the Zexal weapons. And I'm playing Rota to have 4 copies of the Arm Sage. Another really good level 4 extender that I'm playing in this deck is actually a 10 card from the new box, and that is Shafana. You can summon Shafana if you control no effect monsters, so pretty much the idea is that you have an empty board and you can just summon Shafana. And the reason why I'm playing this card is because it's a level 4 extender, so we can just summon it into an empty board going second, we can summon Shafana, and then we can summon Angler or Arm Sage next to it, and then make a rank 4. So with that we can either make a Utopia, or we can make an Exciton Knight. And what makes Exciton so good here is that we get to make Exciton without having to normal summon at all, which is crazy, because it means we can have a really big board, we can summon Exciton, nuke their entire board, and then still be able to normal summon Buzzsaw Shark or Tuna afterwards, or even Salamander. So Exciton is very good in this deck. However, Exciton, I believe, is only available through a selection box, so if you do not have Exciton, then a very good replacement would be something like Castel. Castel is a very good out to things that cannot be destroyed by card effects normally, or against things that you do not want to destroy by card effects. Castel is very good. It's also a card in the new box, so while you are picking up your new Utopia AV, chances are you'll probably be getting a Castel as well. For the rest of the deck, we have all kinds of back row removal. I'm playing 8 cards that interact with back row cards, which might sound like a lot, but it is 30 cards, and 8 in 30 is similar to playing about 5 in 20, which is still quite a bit. But the reason why I'm playing so many is because when you go first, your engine already gets to a very strong turn 1 by itself in Utopia Ray, so because of that, you don't actually need to play any trap cards in this deck, because your turn 1, simply by playing a rank 4, is already good enough. You definitely can play trap cards. I do not think it's incorrect to play trap cards or Book of Moon in this deck, but the reason as to why I'm not playing that is because I would much rather have more cards that deal with the back row that my opponent has when I go second, and then be able to play my engine into their field normally. I'm playing 2 copies of Utopia because you summon the first one to be able to go into this one normally, and then on the follow-up you then have the option to summon a second Utopia to make Utopia Ray V. The other reason to play 2 is going second, you summon 1 Utopia, it gets removed, and then it becomes relevant having the second one to summon to then use the skill to set the Rank-Up Magic from the deck. We're playing Lightning because there are definitely some matchups out there that might have effects when a card is sent to grave or killed in battle, or they have some kind of hand trap against the new Black Luster Soldier deck, for example. Some of them are playing the Envoy of Chaos. So if you make Lightning and attack into their BLS, Lightning will become 5,000 attack, but also you can use the effects of Lightning so that they cannot use the effects of Envoy in their hands. That is one niche example, but there definitely are other matchups and scenarios where Lightning becomes very, very useful. We are playing the Utopia Ray, the normal one. You don't have to play this card. I don't think it comes up very much. I was only playing it to see if it did come up. One thing that might be good to replace this for would definitely be Castel, if you aren't already playing it as a replacement for Extra Knights, or if you aren't already playing Castel as a replacement for the Extra Knight, you can instead play Steelswarm Roach. Because Roach is very good against decks like Speedroid or Pendulum. So probably replacing this for Roach, I think, would be correct. And yeah, enjoy the gameplay. Chalice, okay, this could be Armed Dragon. We opened the Rank-Up Magic, which isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world either. We're going to use Armed Crossover to chuck the level 10 white to grave. At level 5, so we already have access to level 3. But most likely we're going to dump be regular 7 and be regular level 3. I'm going to make them all dark for a potential Dark Arm Dragon later. Flash into Thunder. An effect of Thunder to go up into level 5 Thunder. And then this will search for level 7. Now when they discard level 7, they can search for the continuous spell. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to search for the continuous spell. Going to use the continuous spell, and they're probably going to use the effect at Graves' hand. Yeah, we're going to add back for level 3 probably. Yep, because now when they send this for level 7, they get to draw cards. Summon level 10, draw a card. Set 1 and pass. We're going to start by summoning Shifana from our hand. I'm not using Rota first, in case we, for some reason, have to set it as a bluff if things go wrong. We're then going to summon the Sage from our hand. And now we can use these two to see summon Utopia. 1 and 2. Then the effects of the Arm Sage will activate to add any Zexal weapon from our deck to our hands. And I think the one that I want to take here is probably the Onomatopaira. Yeah. Castel will be very good here because of the continuous spell. They're going to use level 10 to destroy Utopia. Now we're going to activate Rota. Gonna add Sage to hands. And then we'll summon Lantern Shark, which isn't the greatest here, but it's not the end of the world either. And then summon another Sage. Because only the search effect is once per turn. Then we're going to use these two to overlay into Utopia. This is why the second Utopia is quite important. And now we're going to rank up, I think. Or do we actually? Do we rank up? Yeah, we rank up not into this one because they can protect it from destruction with the continuous spell. So we'll rank up into the Zexal Searcher. Into the Leo. Summon Leo. Ooh. Animation time. Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, which is always treated as Chaos number 39, which is why we can summon it with a rank up spell. Now we can use our Tornado Bringer to equip onto the Utopia Ray. We're going to chain Lance to make it so it cannot be affected by the monster this turn. Which is pretty good, because it means we can't be over this right now. Next we're going to use the effect to detach... we'll detach a Lantern Shark. And we're going to add a Lightning Blade to our hands. And we're going to do a quick Lightning Blade onto the Utopia Ray. Now the effect negation and attack halving does not last until the end of the turn. it lasts for the entire turn, so we're going to do it now. Because it means that even though we cannot run over their monster this turn, when it comes to their turn, their monster will still be negated. And we're going to pass on that. So now with a one that has a really big monster, it cannot be targeted by card effects, they cannot destroy these by card effects, and if they want to destroy this by card effects, I can destroy the lightning blade instead. Right, we're going to add back the level 10 white to the hand. We can banish level 7 from grave, and so banish level 7, 10 even, summon white and add white veil to the hand. Then we can use flash to summon. We summon level 3. And we have the effect level 3. I'm gonna let that go through, I think. Summon level 5. Level 3 to draw cards. Because they can white veil to negate the Zex weapons and then they can destroy Utopia. With the white, but they're making Gustav. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to burn us for 1,000. That I will take. Then we're going to make Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Leap. Yep. We're going to use the effects of Leap. Yeah. Then we're going to use White Veil onto the leap. We're going to set a card, and we're going to move to battle phase. So we're going to use this now to negate the leave. So it becomes 2,000 because its effects get negated and its attack points become halved. We draw Lance for turn. We don't play a third Zex weapon, so we don't have a third thing to search here. Lance is a pretty good draw. They can't target our monster, but if they try to book a move themselves to survive, we can just launch their monster for funnies. There we go, GG. Nice. Utopia best deck. Alright, this is most likely Resonator. Opening Lantern plus Tuna isn't the greatest in the world, but it's not the worst either. It's only not amazing because we can't go summon Lantern, summon Tuna. I think this will likely depend on if they end on Void Ogre. Or if I top deck something good. Or, I mean, if they don't end on Void Ogre, there's a chance that I don't really need a good top deck. But there are a lot of good top decks here. Any extender is very nice. Right, we're just going to fast forward this, you don't have to sit through this combo. Okay, so they have no Void Ogre and one unknown back row. That's a nice draw. We're going to MST to take out the Red Rain. We're going to chain Red Rain just to make the monster unaffected. Makes sense. And now we're going to go ahead and summon Shafana. Then we shall summon Angler. And next we shall make ourselves a... We can't exit on here to clip a back row. Oh wait, no. There is a thing that we can do. Okay, so... The reason why I said that we can't exit on, right, is because we control the same number of cards as they do. If we make Exton. But there is one cool trick that we can do here. But I'm going to show you. We're going to make Exton with these. Currently, not doing much because we control the same number of cards. Right, they floodgate trap hold because they didn't know what I was doing. But what I was going to do is because to control less cards, I was going to go normal summon Tuner, and then Tuner on summon banishes the cost. So that plays around Book of Moon and stuff still. And then in response to Tuner, I was going to chain Exoton to destroy the back row card, because at that point we would only control 2 cards because we would only have Exoton and the Lantern in hand. Since Tuner at that point would be halfway through resolving and would be banished. So then after Exoton clears with the back row, then we can summon Buzzsaw Shark from the deck to make Utopia, and there will be no more back row. They used Floodgate Trap Hole a bit early there, which is incorrect on their behalf, but it doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they were not telegraphing my play there, and they just saw a button and clicked yes. Now we're going to make Utopia. Now, Red Rain means it cannot be affected by cards, but we can still attack over it. So we're going to make Utopia, we're going to use the skill to set Rank-Up Magic from our deck. And now we can use the Rank-Up Magic to turn Utopia into Ultimate Leo. And complex use Evolution. And now we can use the effects of Leo to add any Zex weapon from our deck to our hands. So now this will detach a Buzzsaw Shark, and we're going to grab ourselves a Tornado Bringer. Because then if they draw Book of Moon, they can't use it to remove Leo. Going to attack into the Skylights, and then pass to them. So if you do have a Wild Wind Engraves, they get a search for possibly a Crimson. However, they need 2 cards to make a play here, which would be one of the cards in their hand and the Resonator from Wild Wind. And the 1 card left in their hand would have to be able to deal with Leo without targeting, so they pretty much need to have Dark Hole or Kaiju here. Normal summon Red Sprinter, that's fine. So because they normal summon Red Sprinter here, I think it is safe to use the negate on Wild Wind. If they were instead to special summon Wild Wind as an extender, then I think it would be less correct to negate the Red Rising here, because then that would leave me much more open to being punished by a potential extender into another Crimson or something, because they can just normal summon that. So Red Rain, would it banish for Leo? It would, but they can only use it if they control a level 8 or higher synchro. And they cannot do that because Red Rising is only level 6. They're going to chain Book of Moon. Okay, that's fair enough. So that means that Red Rising goes through. They can't Book of Moon our monster because of this. However, they can't do much with just Crimson here because Crimson needs a synchro monster to be face up in the field. And even if they could, they can't synchro with a face down anyway. So now we can use Leo. Leo can now detach the Angler to go ahead and grab us a Lightning Blaze. Also, the reason why I do not detach the Utopia normally is because if you detach Utopia, that gives them a thing to use Ice Dragon's Prison on, which is not what you want. Unfortunately, I can't use Buzzsaw Shark's effects here, can I? Because both Anglers and Lantern Shark are out of the deck, so that's a very unfortunate top deck. It's fine though, we can still go into Buzzsaw Shark in attack mode just to beat over the monster. What's the defense on Red Rising? It is 16, okay, so in that case we'll go Buzzsaw Shark into Crimson, and then the Leo into the Red Rising. So now their hand is Red Rain and an unknown card. I have no idea what single card can get them out of that scenario, apart from maybe Dark Hole. Actually, no, not even Dark Hole, because we protect from Dark Hole now with Lightning Blaze. Because this one protects from Dark Hole, and this one protects from Book of Moon. Now, we do have Game on board, but I kind of want to summon the new card at least once before ending this video. We're going to make Utopia, we're going to reset the rank up. And we're going to use it to Exceed Summon Chaos number 39, Utopia Ray V. Oh, there's no cutscene, that's sad. And there we go. GG's. Not gonna lie, I think this deck's actually pretty good. Maybe the fish way isn't the right way to play the deck. Playing it with the Onomat cards might be better, but I didn't show them in this video because most people watching will not have access to free copies of Onomatopaira. But yeah, that will do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Have a perfectly balanced rest of your day. And yeah, adios.